to start where I left off, so yes, he writes down his grocery list in the notes part on his phone. And then I asked, do you keep any other calendars separately? And he said, no, when you guys were kids, we kept a lot of things separate, but now that it's just, he doesn't have to worry about those schedules and things like that, he doesn't really keep any other calendars separate. And when I kind of asked, further about his favorite things that he likes to watch and things, and he said he does actually keep the Husker football calendar separate, and that's something he usually sticks to, making sure that he makes time for, but he does not include that on his calendar on his phone. So it's something that he can reference and make sure that he knows what time the game's going to be on and what days those are, but otherwise it's not something he adds to his phone. And I asked, if I could see the reminders and the notes that he has saved on his phone, and the things in his calendar, he said that he doesn't really set up anything that's recurring. So therefore he doesn't really delete them as they go. He just lets it pass and doesn't feel the need to delete it. And then in his notes, he did have kind of random things. I mean, he had the random grocery list as well as random notes about a measurement, a customer, and things like that. And then also he sent me a picture of his truck, and his organized chaos did seem to show, a lot of notes that were left over. And I asked how many of those were old, and he said, probably majority of them. He does go through and clean out his truck every 3 to 4 months. Just depends on how much of the mess piles up, but he feels that he can still weed through, and he knows those things that are old and can bypass them and kind of shoves them to a different section in the truck. And then the things that are still relevant, he feels like, again, within his organized chaos, he knows where those are. And so then he feels that this works for him. And I just asked if this was something that he felt like was working for him, working with his business and working with his crews and helping him manage everything. And he said it absolutely was. He said that the calendars really helped him keep track of things better. He still does have a tendency to write things down while he's on the phone, which he's on the phone quite a bit. So he still does have those side notes. But other than that, if he can make sure and remind himself to enter those notes into his phone, and the fact that it syncs up with his Gmail, and when he can talk to Siri and have Siri enter those things for him, he feels like this has really helped him stay more on track of his customers, his meetings, and his crew, and that he really enjoys using the app so far.